You are.
Mm-hmm. Um,
I don't care what nobody says. At first, when I was listening to that Beyonce, when it first came out, I listened to it and I was like, okay. But it's one of them albums, like, once you put that shit on repeat and you hear how it kind of flows, because I'm not like a techno, that's not my really genre of music. But once you sit and you listen to how that shit flows, like it's literally like when you press play from the beginning, it's like one long ass song. And you like, oh bitch. And I know they be joking online, and I've seen people joking online, but I understand now. This is one of the an album that actually had to grow on me, if that makes sense, because like I said, this is not my genre of music. And honey, when people say it must be cracking, I was like, oh, I understand, because once you push play, you literally want to hear it from the beginning to the end. It's like literally no skips on the app. That album goes hard. This right here is going to be one of her albums that people are going to be playing for a long ass time. And I ain't trying to be funny. Like, it's gonna be wild for any of the girls put some shit out where they be like, okay, I'm gonna give up this Beyonce.
yeah. Welcome to the party. All right, you ready to do this?
Mm-hmm.
All right, here we go. Hey, welcome to another episode of the Blackout Test Podcast. I'm your host, Rod, joined as always by my co-host,
Karen.
and we are live on a Saturday morning, ready to do some podcasting. Find us everywhere that you get podcasts. The official weapon of the show is
The taser.
an unofficial sport,
What about?
a bullet ball extreme. Today's show is for the people that write in and let us know what they think. The people that send in emails, that vote in the polls, that mail us stuff, that leave comments on our YouTube. We do it all for you guys, and this is your show. We're gonna talk about the comments that you left us and the feedback that you left us, and then we're gonna get into what we think about what you thought. Of course, this week, just as a heads up, we didn't get any voicemails and we didn't get any 5-star reviews. But we still got plenty of comments and stuff on the site, and we're still gonna make sure that y'all get y'all's content. But we love 5-star reviews is all I'm
We
saying.
do. We do. We love our cyber reviews. They're absolutely positively free. Anywhere you are in the world, you leave us a review, we will see it. We will see it, and we thank you. Um, a lot of y'all, new year, new me. Well, let your New Year's resolution be leave Black Guy Who Tips a 5-star review.
Yeah.
Let that be the new year, new you this year.
Yes, absolutely. All right, let's talk about the people that did give us money though, because that's important too.
Mm-hmm.
They just put something on it.
May I have your attention? You are now listening to Charlotte's Own, Rod and Karen. We welcome the good folks who tied to the Black Guy Who Tips.
As the year ends, new dividends. Let's give them a shout out. You just wanna take time shout out Waist Bees by Sura. Thank you so much. Michael Irvin, the playmaker. Jasmine A. Thank you very much, Jasmine. Mary H. Deborah O. Jonathan W. We got Allison H as well. Michael F. Stefan H. A lot of H's this month. Jeff M. Brian B. Corey B. Jonathan H. There go another H. The H family is deep. This
Representing.
Nicole F. JF. Michael W. Mako H. Marvin B. Yes, Marvin B. Early Days of Photography. Chriselle B. We got Asia D. Annie P. Annie, are you okay? I hope y'all. I really do. We got a one-time donation from Terrelyn, Two Fish.
Hey, baby.
Tom W. Cavis D. Michael S. Dana R. Nicholas Z. Bomani Jones. Jane M. Noel W. Laura E. Sonya B, and Pete B. The B's was in the house too. I see y'all. The B's and the
Mhm.
H's. Thank you so much, everybody. B's and H's is what Snoop Dogg almost called his first album. Okay. All right. Play me out. All right. All right. So, like I said, no 5-star reviews. Apparently, my begging for a Christmas present of 5 stars went on deaf ears. No one cared.
I clear did. Nobody cared. Nobody cared. I
I'm
guess a
only
lot
in
of
New
people.
York working 2 jobs doing this for y'all. Okay, I'm only, walking up these stairs, killing myself, trying to make a living out here in the big city.
They don't even
They don't
appreciate what
care.
you be doing.
They don't give a
Mm-mm.
damn. Okay,
Mm-mm. We worked through the Christmas holidays. Y'all know everybody else took vacations.
yeah. I ain't get to see my family or nothing this year, and here y'all go with the I can't even be bothered to give
I
five
can't even
star
be
reviews.
bothered.
That is crazy.
Taking ride for granted.
Mm-mm-mm. And I don't care what country you in, we'll still get it. So no
Hmm.
excuses.
No
We done read
excuses.
international 5-star reviews, but you know
Hmm.
what? Uh, hopefully y'all can do better in the new year. Okay.
New year, new you.
Episode 2649, Hooked on Us, was our first episode of the week, our feedback episode. And we got comments. We got 6 different comments on this one. Appia starts us off. I also didn't know much about Meghan Markle before. When I heard that she was to marry Prince Harry, I thought, congrats. They seem sweet together, and she
They
isn't
do.
some 18-year-old teenage bride. Now I have all the information I need, and if I never hear about it again, super. And oh, how obsessed people got. I remember people were obsessed with the wife of Prince William in the beginning and said mean shit about her, calling her Waity Katie, as if there were some shame in it that they didn't get married 3 months after meeting each other. But it wasn't
Wow.
nearly as bad as with Megan. What were you gonna say, Karen? I'm sorry.
No, I said, wow, I didn't know that they call her that.
Yeah, I think being catty is kind of part of the tabloid like thing over there, but there's also this thing where they allow the monarchy to quote unquote protect certain people or to tell them to like chill the fuck out. That's enough. And apparently that's something that they did not do for Megan, and at some point
Right.
even planted stories and sort of made sure that the negative stories were about her to keep the heat off of the family's racism and harassment and other scandals and shit. It was very weird. Here we have a woman hating and racism, and I think the feeling is in filling in British people, a witch from outside came and took our boy. Maybe I still find her okay and not even so interested, and I wish them happiness. Yeah, I think that's the weirdest part to me is drumming up vitriol for her is gotta be kind of harsh. She don't do shit. Like
Mm-mm.
at this point, it's just like either racism or like you're such a stan of the royal family that you're mad that she came out. She wasn't. She just kind of was like, yeah, this I didn't grow up with this, and then
Correct.
like, if you're mad about that, be mad at that nigga. He picked her, not she. Like he knew
Right.
that she didn't give a fuck about that shit. That might be why he likes her. But if there's
Hmm.
anyone to blame about her lack of pomp and circumstance and training and all this shit about white royalty being a black woman from Compton, or ambiguously black woman from Compton, um if there's any fault in that, that's him. He proposed. It's not the other way around. Like I've never gotten, I don't know. I think also it's just very hard for white people to imagine that there's people that just literally don't give a fuck. And
And
I
I'm
know
one
it.
of them.
I know it because I lived it. I don't give a fuck
Yep.
about, even as this is
Don't
happening.
care.
I've never looked up enough about it. I didn't watch the documentary. I just don't care. I know there's a lot of black people that do care now because they're invested in blackness or they're
Hmm.
Anglophiles. I just never care. It's still not important to me.
Nope.
Brittany Griner, I agree with Karen and Rod. This is some political theater, and blaming it on cannabis should discredit her somehow. They could as well have arrested her for looking in the wrong direction. I was afraid she would die there, so I'm happy she is out.
Me too, baby.
A warlord for a drug consumer narrative is also political theater. Don't fall for it. I know R and K, you don't. My dog was sick with heart and lung problems for a long time. She still had good moments, but there was danger of suffocating every morning. It was awful. She could still go on walks, but when she was sleeping, she didn't get enough oxygen. It was really hard experience for me. I know it wasn't human, but she's part of our family. Absolutely. I think pets become part of people's family. I mean, that's a big thing.
I do too, and also the more I learn about, I know this might sound stupid because, like I said, I never owned like an animal, but a lot of the things that affect humans, I didn't realize this. Like cats and dogs can get that shit too. Like I know this might sound stupid, but I didn't know that like cats and dogs had like menstrual cycles and things like that. I looked like what? They was like, yes, they do. I was like, oh, okay, shit like that. So a lot of the diseases and things that we catch, they can get the same thing too.
Hmm. Next comment is from Lakito says, first of all, Appia will be heard. Laugh my ass off. We love you, girl. Sorry about your furry friend. I know that can be hard, and I honestly appreciate the allyship of Appia and Tanya, John, and all the other non-PLCs and Tip Nation because it matters.
Hmm.
To comment on Mandy's email, I couldn't wait to hear it because when Rod read it, my fucking Hawaiian roll list order from our Walmart showed up. So I had to wait until the episode loaded. It wasn't as bad as I expected after seeing the reactions. However, in my Stephen A voice, it was pretty wrong-headed. Does she think the man was going to get out and instantly start nuking Americans? All people here is Merchant of Death and envision Thanos or something. The niggas sold guns, which is terrible, but I don't know. Her argument made no sense. Instead of releasing Brit, we should release people in America locked up for weed because they BG knew it was illegal. Well, didn't they? How about no one should be in prison for it? Can both be true? As Dre pointed out, people are using this Merchant of Death shit to make their real feelings heard. But we see y'all. Appia says, "Thank you. This warmed my sad heart." Here's the thing to me. We should have gave Brittany Griner a better nickname when she was in the WNBA. I see that now. Like if we gonna call this dude the Merchant of Death, if we would have called her like the Baron of Buckets, the I don't know, the soldier of scoring or something, then we could have been
Ah,
like, oh yeah, it's the Merchant of Death getting traded for the Baron of Buckets. It's a fair trade because I really think people are that fucking stupid that they
they
was like,
are.
he's called the Merchant of Death, and it's like the nigga's been in jail for 10 years, and last time I checked, you could get a gun anywhere on the streets at any point in time. Right, it's too many guns. So I don't know that we were ever deterring guns in America and the threat of them while this dude was in jail. I guarantee if we tracked mass shootings with like these AR-15s and shit, if we just track mass shootings as this man was in jail, we ended with more by the time he got out than when he went in. I guarantee it.
Yes.
Anyway, Miss Barnes says, I have gas heat, and anyone with gas heat knows that it takes 3 seconds for it to get hot as hell. My son and grandson were visiting with me, and I had went to sleep. I woke up one morning sweating like hell, wondering what was going on. I normally had to heat up set to 65. My son, who does not pay the gas bill, hiked the temp up to 80. I kicked
God
over
damn.
right.
Trying to roast y'all.
It be 80 up in here, man. Sometimes, like last night, because the temperature went from like, earlier in the week, like 7 degrees, 16 degrees to
Mhm.
like 50 or something last night.
That's a big swing.
Yeah, but I think they still had the like heater thing on high or whatever the fuck. And so it was probably about 80 up in here. I had to open the windows, turn on the fan and shit. Um, but yeah, I mean, it's really not much you can do. I actually bought one of them blankets to put over it to see if that worked. It's like a wool flame retardant blanket.
Mm.
Even though they say these things don't get hot enough to like put some shit on fire for real, but just I was like, I'm gonna try that blanket
It
thing because
might knock it down just the temperature. That's all right.
yeah,
That's
that's
all.
what they say.
Hmm.
But yeah, so back to this stuff. My bad. He was like, oh, I kicked open the door, proceeded to tell him keep his dusty fingers off the thermostat. He was like, I don't.
Right, you ain't paying shit.
He was like, I do not want my son to freeze. I told him that he was an adult and buy a heated blanket for his son to kick rocks. I said all that to say, I'm sorry, Rod. I know it's hotter than hell in your home, and keep those windows open along with the fans going. Take care. Have fun in NY. Yeah, that's what I'm doing right now. Uh, I left the window open when I went to work, and I came back and there was like a feather on the bar of the window because I think maybe a bird flew up to the window. It didn't come in, but it just like was like, what's going on in here? Oh, I was like, shit, I
And
keep it
like
neat up in here.
Rockefeller.
Ain't nothing to eat. So hey, it's just like
Mm-mm.
I guess there wasn't no reason for his ass to come in because there ain't nothing up in. Everything is in the fridge or locked up in a cabinet or
Just
some shit.
tapping on the glass. Anybody there? Tick, 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 tick.
Sean says there are some classrooms and universities I teach at that do not allow control of the thermostat. That being said, I generally let my students control their thermostat because I'm comfortable between -40 and 40 C, which is -40 and 104 Fahrenheit. Okay, he's probably just being very clever. He's a smart person. Everybody has a conversation. It just went over
Super
my head.
smart.
It just went over my head. I can admit I don't know everything.
Mm-mm.
Everybody has a comfort zone, and mine just happens to be slightly wider than normal. That being said, not being able to control the artificial temperature where you are living is fucked up. And I hope that you can get to your normal NY residence and Karen can learn to adjust the thermostat soon. Take care, stay warm.
Well, update. I logged on to the app because and it's hilarious because I know it's put like this. I know it is not that complicated, y'all. I understand that, but I just look at it and it looks like fucking computer science to me. I'm like, I don't know. I don't understand. So I logged in and Roger showed me how to do it, and I turned it up to 70, and I'm fine at 70. It's like 2 degrees higher than average because I normally keep it at 68. And I was like, well, seven, I like a round number. So I was like, 70 is a round number. And so I think I like that temperature. Yeah, because I know it might sound silly, but in my mind, up means down and down means up. So when Roger asked me a day, I was like, the number went up. He was like, that don't make no sense. I was like, see, this is why I don't touch it.
No, I didn't say it don't make no sense. You making stuff up now. I don't think I did that at all.
Well, in my mind, that's what I heard, even though that's not what you said.
Oh my god, this is why I deal with y'all. So the thing, it was easy. You just log in and you just pick the number that you wanted, and you can say cool or heat. If it's cool, then if it goes below that number, it'll turn off or whatever. If you say heat and it goes below that number, it'll turn on. It's a thermostat and it's very easy to use. And I couldn't get her to use the app, but then when it turned to like 15 degrees outside, suddenly she figured it out, y'all. So it wasn't that complicated.
Bitch, it was cold outside.
Yeah, also, the other reason this is bullshit, this woman will get on a fucking simulator game and figure out how to fucking plant frogs and build cows and fucking own 17 houses and become a fucking billionaire with all these intricate little systems that interact and bed and breakfast and all this other shit. She can figure all this shit out. It's very complicated. I've tried to play these games and I can't figure them out because there's so much little stuff you have to be aware of all the time and always balancing stuff. And she gonna sit up here and lie to y'all like she can't tell 68 between 70. It's just too complicated. It's all computer science. I reject that.
And you know what? I think a lot of it, I'm not going to lie, I think a lot of it is just being intimidated and not really working the thermostat as a kid because my mom was like, Miss Barnes, she was like, nigga, you don't pay no bills, don't touch shit. So I never figured out how to do it. Because I'm like, whatever she got to set up.
Miss Barnes, you giving generational trauma. Okay, you see what happened to Karen? That could be.
My mom was like, you don't pay for shit. So I was like, I guess. So I never figured out how to do it.
Miss Barnes, be careful. Your little grandbaby gonna grow up and be like, I don't understand It's all computer science, and it's really just generational trauma. Just break the cycle, everybody. We don't.
Generation, generation of trauma of the heat and cool. Shit, that ought to be the poll.
All right, remember that.
Okay.
All right. The next comment is from Ramsey D. Jenkins, says 5 stars for the feedback show. And then I'll get to the comments on our YouTube before I do the poll. I think I'll do it this way today and see how it works. Sorry, I meant to mute that. Let's see. Any comments? Okay, it doesn't look like we got any, if I'm not mistaken. I don't think we got any comments for this episode. Okay, cool. Just wanted to make sure. And let's go to the poll. As I open up Anchor, and remember, we're supposed to check the comments there too. Have you ever lived with a radiator you couldn't control, not counting living with your parents?
Mm-mm.
Yes, 25%. No, 75%. And this is what I'm saying, New York.
Mm.
I understand this is the city, the concrete jungle where dreams are made of. It's nothing you can't do. Well, you can't control your fucking thermostat. That's weird. Okay, that is a weird thing. So
I got these buildings built back in the 1910s. They just never updated them shits.
yeah, that is very fucking weird. Everywhere else in the country, it's fine. But anyway, and then it's the exact same percentage on Spotify poll, which is very rare. So even people with money, only 25% of them have ever had to deal with this torture. All right, let's get to the comments from the Anchor thing, which is, I'm walking here, and then people responded. Then speed your ass up, says Miss Barnes.
Well, damn.
Yeah, Miss Barnes, who was just saying protect Karen at all costs. We don't come for
She
but
said,
when this
"Speed your
ride
ass
is
up."
open season on me, huh? Speed my okay.
Miss Barnes like, move, bitch, get out the way.
Control says, I'm driving here. And Raphael says, as someone who has walked on 4 continents, it just dawned on me that I should have begun with, I walked the talk NFT. Now Trump has messed these waters up. I repent. Lord, accept me in thy treasure room.
Wow, so you can turn everything into NFT.
The next episode is 2650, the Herschel Walker of defendants, where we finally talked about that Tory Lanez Megan Thee Stallion trial. Which, you know, I can't even work up the outrage. I honestly just think these motherfuckers are stupid and hopeless if they still fucking with this Tory Lanez shit. I think the audio from him calling Kelsey, the woman who pleaded the fifth on his behalf, on her behalf, or whatever.
So that audio was real. I kept seeing, and I didn't.
Yeah, some type of jail call, and it's him basically admitting to fucking up and doing something. He doesn't come flat out and say I shot her, but it's everything. But you know, it's like I was just so drunk. I know she never gonna talk to me again. Blah blah. And people were sending it around like, don't y'all feel stupid for defending this? And I was like, these motherfuckers will never feel stupid. They are stupid. You see what I'm saying? Like, some people are too stupid, to feel betrayed, to feel used, to feel wrong.
Shame has left the building. Like, you know, a lot of people, they don't have that. So when you don't have shame, there's nothing you can say or do to get people like that to back down.
They're unrepentant, and ultimately, like, at the end of the day, like, I'm so sorry, but you had to be so fucking stupid to think that this dude didn't do this. Like, and I saw people saying shit like, well, they didn't prove beyond reasonable doubt. And all I could think is, what if you watched too much Matlock? That's not how this works.
No.
Do you understand every single trial with a fucking defense attorney that goes to trial with a jury? Every single trial, the defense attorney has to come up with something. They're never going to just say, my client did it, Your Honor, the end. They're always going to say something. It could have been a twin brother that he never knew about. What if that's why his DNA is the same as you see what I'm saying? So you don't know. And it's like, these motherfuckers would be the dumb motherfuckers sitting at home like, you don't know. Maybe you do got a long lost twin. It's like, this is anyway, you know, I said I wasn't gonna do it. After you're right, Sam. Thank you for the Christmas show. Very cool to wake up to a new episode on Christmas. Yeah, I was listening to Keith and the girl Q&A, and Newsy had said how for podcast listeners, a lot of times all the podcasts take a break during the Christmas. And so,
Mm-hmm.
especially if you have a job where you still have to go to work, or even if you're just out living your life, relaxing, you're like, I want some familiar voices and takes and opinions and stuff like that. You kind of bereft, And so I was like, I'm here. I really ain't got shit else to do other than work. Let's do the show, and it's a good excuse to, see each other's faces and talk,
Mm-hmm.
hang out with the chat room and stuff
It was
like that.
fun.
And so um that I was like, I hope people, that are, as they're returning to work, will be like, oh cool, we got Black Guy Tips to listen to. Or those who never got to take the time off will be like, cool, at least this show is still working. So
Right.
yeah, I'm glad that people are enjoying it and that y'all are still listening and stuff. And I was thinking about y'all when I did it, even if y'all weren't thinking about me and leaving 5-star reviews. I checked how cold it is. I checked how cold it is in New York now. It's at 14 degrees Fahrenheit. That's still temperature my body enjoys. When I wear the right clothes, I feel great. My body tells me, Appia, we were built for this. Our ancestors survived the Eastern European winters. I still remember winters within Poland with about -10 Fahrenheit for weeks, and my grandparents flat heat coal and wood only and no warm water. I'm not a
Mm.
big Christmas person. My mother is, so we get the full load for 2 days. There are nice things about it, but overall, I'm relieved when it's over. I have the whole next week off, so that's great. I checked for the
Yay.
I checked for the life expectancy in Germany, and it said the current life expectancy for Germany is in 2022 is 81.72 years, a 0.19% increase from 2021. My
Mm.
guess is health insurance for everyone, and we don't have an opioid crisis. Yeah.
That's true. Boy, opioid is taking folks out like that. That and COVID and shit is sweeping through the buildings like it is nothing to play with.
I also do wonder if Germany has higher compliance with their um, vaccine rates and science and stuff, because we
They
have
do.
definitely made it so political here. Like, it's not. It's one thing for there to be people who don't want to get vaccinated. I think every single country is dealing with that. But it's another thing when there's like a political party and
Right.
political candidates who made it their claim to fame and rose to power. And I wonder if that's something everyone deals with, or is that something specifically like American? I know China has other problems with their uptake of the vaccine as well, the efficacy of it, and of course the general distrust of dictatorship. But
Hmm.
yeah, I just wonder if that would also make some difference, because I mean, definitely the opioid crisis and that fentanyl and shit is taking motherfuckers out left and right. But that that's a huge fall off for America.
Agreed.
In Germany, people often deal with pain in a different way. I only heard about patients on opioids when they are on their deathbeds from cancer. I never had any opioids prescribed, and I had 2 kids by natural birth. I had lots of dentist appointments. Dentists will give you shots close to the problem tooth for pain that work for an hour or so, and you hardly ever get another prescription afterwards. And if it is, it's ibuprofen. Yeah, well, when the people that own the drug companies are basically in bed with the doctors. I mean, this is definitely an effect of capitalism and the effect of racism as well, because the people that get prescribed this are often white people, and which is one of the
Hmm.
reasons people really care right now, is because I know you're not from here, so you probably don't see the difference, or really care that much, and I don't blame you. But uh, in America, this is the one problem that the GOP cares about. Like,
Hmm.
to see Republicans care about drug addicts is so fucking rare. I don't think there's ever been a time that they've done cared before. They've always just been like, lock them the fuck up and get them out of here, because they always say they're just black people or brown.
Now they want to change the laws. Now they want to have compassion. Now they want to send people to rehab and all those types of things. And on top of that, when they promote it, it's white people the face of it. So basically, they're like, white people, this could be you, this could be your child. And for a lot of politicians, it took their children or their grandchildren or their nieces and nephews to be strung out because they didn't even care when it was happening to poor whites. They cared when it started happening to people directly around them.
Yeah, it's a bipartisan issue because Democrats have always cared about
Mm-hmm.
the people on drugs. The only time that they really didn't seem to care was when the black community itself was like, caring about not locking these people up means you don't care about our community, and that's a very complicated thing I won't get into today. But
Right.
other than that, they've always been the ones who are like, drug addicts are people and we need to help them. It's a disease. And Republicans only came around to that when it was white people, and now all of a sudden we have an opioid crisis. We never had a crack crisis. We had a crack epidemic. We never had a crack
Right.
crisis.
And there is a big difference between those two words.
Yeah.
That's about how to use what is it, protest and riot. They
Mhm.
listen to when they use those words and how they use those words and when they pick and choose those words. There is a difference in those meanings.
So let's get back to the last comment. Green Eye Bandit said the story of the old man with the World War I shell shoved up his rectum is just getting your back blown out is not supposed to be taken literally. Ah, yeah,
Agreed.
I'm with you. So then we had let me check the comments if we had any on YouTube real quick. Oh, we did. We had quite a few comments on this. Carlisle said, just because you have an opinion does not mean you need a podcast. LOL. Also, the neighbor was the one to identify him holding the GD gun. Case closed. I don't know what the first one was a response to. Let's see. Michael says it's like a lot of these folks tried to create their own reality when it comes to Tory Lanez case. When the shooting initially happened, almost everybody was on the right side of the issue when they said he was wrong. As time went on, because the justice system isn't faster, it seems like people started to convince themselves that he didn't do it. And then they tried to convince the rest of us who Megan slept with had zero to do with the case. Did he shoot her?
Right.
That was literally the only thing that mattered. And once the prosecution made that case, he was found guilty. This stuff isn't rocket science.
All right.
Someone replied to him and said, it's truly sad how this has become a black man versus black woman debate. Rolling eyes emojis. I know.
Mm-hmm.
Two,
That's
how
what it always boils down to, which is so sad.
Right. Two, how this shows how reliant the public has become on social media and biased media for their information. And three, how some will ride for celebrities no matter what they do. The state of our country and our people is lacking and not getting better. Not to be pessimistic, but I worry. Here's another tie with connection I would make. This is very much a result, or not necessarily a result, but a pattern that fits the Amber Heard case.
Mm-hmm.
Where
Yes.
the defense of the man's defense depended on the fact that we only have so much tolerance for a woman, period. So whether she's right or wrong, she better be fucking perfect. And if she ain't perfect, it's like the returns start slowly going down until eventually our empathy is gone. Two, the lack of actual media coverage from reputable outlets, right? Like,
Right.
you didn't turn on CNN and see them cover this. Even in that way, Amber Heard and Johnny Depp, obviously bigger celebrity, been around longer. I get it, but this is still a celebrity trial. And you're just
Mm-hmm.
not seeing coverage of this on any mainstream news. So it was relegated to blogs, and bloggers don't really have necessarily journalistic
Integrity.
not just integrity, but incentives. Like, they're
Correct.
not incentivized to be good journalists as much as they're incentivized to say things that will get people to click on their stuff.
Agreed.
So like once it became a blogosphere type of discussion, I think you really lose everybody.
Mm-hmm.
Carlisle Jordan says it's a lot of people about to be on that Tasha K defamation train. Listen, I've already
Yeah.
seen people deleting old blog posts, people
Backtracking. It was
putting
all
out
in
the
comedy. They starting to say everything but you can't put this shit out in the world like that and be like, it's all good. I'm just covered. And like I said, was in my opinion, and from what I was seeing, what was so fucked up, like before the quote unquote official result came out, people automatically said, like I've seen, like I saw like 4 or 5 articles. It was like he's not guilty. I was like, this don't make no sense. And I started looking. I was like, oh, these people aren't like. I started like going like seeing where the sources from. I was like, oh, these sources don't seem like good sources. I'll wait till somebody official came out. And when it officially came out, I was like, oh, that makes more sense. Like the fuck.
And now we see it. One of the things I think is interesting is we're starting to see people say, like put out the same blogs now put out the stuff that does make Tory look bad, which I think is like some type of like catch-all shit, like, oh, no, now we do tell both sides of the story. It's like, yeah, after the fucking guilty verdict, you're like, oh, did y'all know he said this, and did you know he texted that? It's like, well, what was this shit before when you were calling her a fucking liar and talking about who she was fucking and her being a Capricorn or some shit? Like, what was that at?
Right, and not all, but wouldn't some of y'all in the room, like in the courtroom itself, like the fuck is this?
Some of them were, but they weren't necessarily the same people as the bloggers. There was like,
okay,
that was
I see what you're saying.
That was the thing that really turned me off about this, was that a lot of the content from it was literally just content to people, because they were becoming like Megan Thee Stallion trial influencers, or Tory Lanez trial influencers, and they were, because the judge didn't allow like cameras and all this stuff in the courtroom. So then these people could do like the game of telephone, where they come outside. And of course it was, I know TikTok people love it, but for me, TikTok is always weird and creepy because it's attractive people trying to make content normally out of other shit. Like, so they had that TikTok vibe where it's like out of breath, walking down the street with from the courtroom, and it was very gossipy. Like this is my impression of it. It's like, oh my God, guys, I just got out of trial. Yeah, you are not gonna believe what just happened. So Kelsey took the stand. Okay, so Kelsey took the stand, and listen, I found her to be very believable, but she says that, and so it's more like a friend telling you some shit that. It's like a friend telling you some shit that happened at their job or something, or in their personal life, or gossip at school, and that's that doesn't lend itself to like truly credibility, and it doesn't lend itself to like a even hand. There's no expertise that they have to sell you or anything. It's just I'm here and I'm gonna be breathlessly making content, as opposed to like whether you like the media or not, but with the media, it's like we're sending this person out there, and the tone is just different. It's it's not I believe her. Oh my God, Kelsey was so good on the stand. Like, it's not. Now she did plead the fifth, but I just thought it was like it was not that. It's very much like, hi, I'm on the scene. I'm Don Lemon, and I'm da 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 with CNN, and today's trial was this, that, and the other. There's like a copy editor. There's like a bunch of shit that you're reading on the teleprompter.
Yep, the checks and balances, all that shit. But y'all don't do that. Y'all just typing shit out and just putting it out there. Right. And the way people are taking y'all like y'all are legitimate news outlets and sources. And that is a problem when a lot of this shit is second, sometimes third, fourth, fifth hand. It's not actually from the source itself.
You know what it reminds me of is the now people are starting to make fun of it, but I thought it was terrible the first time I saw it. But the people at work that do TikToks about their jobs,
that's why a lot of jobs are banning that shit. They be like, don't put that shit on your motherfucking phone. Stop it. You at goddamn work.
Yeah, whether it be a police officer or a nurse or whatever in full uniform. The joke for me was always, and I'm sure someone's made this joke on TV or something by now, but years ago, my joke was always like, someone should do one of them TikTok dances, and in the back, and then someone like, while they're like, not them recording themselves dancing, but a patient who's like there and everything's beeping and hooked up and in pain, they should record the back of the person and they doing like a dance in another area of the hospital, and you in there like, I just am in so much pain, and it's beep beep, like you just hooked up to all
Mhm.
this shit, and then you just see them over there like we gonna fuck up tonight. Like I just think
They
that would be so funny because it's like that's what I keep imagining happening. It's like
right,
the police
right.
dude is like lip syncing, and in the background, like you're getting mugged. It's just like this motherfucker's in the car doing like a Bernie Mac monologue, and I'm fucking getting robbed over here.
Right. They think I've seen like one or two of them, and I didn't know how popular they were about some of them are good about the nurses, about their jobs and things like that. But some of them have like crossed the line where people are like, "Hey, dog, like this is your motherfucking job. Like y'all coming on here complaining about the shit that could save people's lives. Like we don't understand. Like we know people could be annoying and shit like that. Like that's just human nature."
I just don't want to be content for your fucking TikTok.
Right.
When your patients come in and they fat or whatever, now I'm
Right.
going viral because it's the thing I didn't like about that therapist that was shitting on black men and going,
Mhm.
black men are my number one clients. Like, why do you think this is part of your job? It shouldn't be. Do your
Nope.
fucking job. Like,
Yes, and as far as the company's concerned, you're doing this. Guess what? You're not doing motherfucking working. You're not working. You're out here dancing and lollygagging and shit. And people, nobody works the whole day, but
yeah,
don't record the shit. They was like, don't put the shit online because if something happens or something goes wrong or something like that, or this shit goes fucking viral, we're as a company, we have to deal with the backlash of angry fucking customers calling and complaining to us, not you. That's why people are losing their jobs.
Linda says 126.25. Say that again. Thank you, Karen, because I needed Rod to repeat that headline too. There needs to be an outreach program to hand out large silicone sex toys that don't look like penises. Some people will use anything to get off. Carlisle says, first and foremost, I love y'all. Second, I'm glad the angry little man is going to jail. You're going to jail. You're going to yeah. What is that? You're going to jail now. I'm so glad he's going to jail too. I'm not gonna lie. Like, I know we're supposed to be above that shit, but I believe in jail for people, and
I do too.
go ahead and keep him up in there. And plus, the way he went to jail, it's like he was daring the system to put him in jail. He had no defense.
Mm-mm.
Like, it was all vibes. Like, y'all just gonna believe this bitch. That was his whole defense.
That was his whole thing. How you
We
how it's like as the day progresses, it's like we got to keep thinking about something. It's like that, and then it turned into what about my son? Y'all gonna take
right,
a father away from his child,
right,
and then it slowly became that this bitch was fucking everybody. Then it
right,
slowly, and you're like, what? You have no case. Like it is everything, but motherfucker, did you shoot her or not?
right.
You're going to jail. You're going to jail now. You're going to jail now. You're going to jail.
And
They
of
better
course,
keep his ass in jail because he come back out here. This gonna be a horror movie nightmare for his ass. He don't want to come back around here playing with me.
all right. Carla also says, and a lot of people don't use the sense God gave a mouse when it comes to understanding and comprehension goes out the window when they don't like someone. The exact thing that Meg didn't want to happen happened. The things she said were going to happen happened. People in the industry calling her a flat out liar because they like Tory. This type of herd mentality that literally gets people killed. I'm glad Meg got justice. Also, half of Rock Nation can't even get invited to the damn brunch. How in God's green earth they gonna move mountains to set this man up? Right. And like Tory Lanez is some type of fucking like he's like a black leader that needs to be taken down or something. He's just a nigga from Canada that can barely rap. Let's be real, lol. Anyways, congrats, Meg. I know it's bittersweet because mofos are gonna hate on her regardless. Yeah.
Yeah, and the thing is really just fucked up all the way around, and nobody's perfect. But there are actually celebrities out here doing fucked up shit all the goddamn time. They consistently doing dumb shit, ignorant shit, fucked up shit all the time. And they was out here trying to slander her character and things like that. It was like, oh, she's been around long enough that if some of these things you were saying were true, somebody would have said something that she was terrible or horrible to work with, or she didn't get along with people because people talk. So I'm like, y'all are just making shit up and just throwing shit at the wall. And like you said, it's one of the reasons why from the beginning she was like, I'd rather just not say nothing because I know this is gonna be a shit show. But it got, like I said before, it got to the point where she was like, you keep running your motherfucking mouth and not trying to be funny. I believe her when she says that money was exchanged and you paying these blogs because them blogs will have been motherfucking on it. And so she's like, I'm tired of y'all. I'm just tired of y'all. I'm tired of the whole thing. I'm tired of people calling me like, and on the side, it make these dudes look like motherfucking fools, Drake, and all these other people that are out here taking shots and taking slanders for the court to say that nigga did it. The court said it now. So now you look really, really stupid.
But that's why they pivot to what a court, ain't no justice for the black man in the court, and it turns into like the Chicago 6 on trial or Chicago 7, whatever. It's like now all of a sudden the whole system got to go down. I'm like, bro, don't nobody want this man. Nobody gave a fuck about. No one was like, man, they gonna have to take Tory Lanez down. He's spitting too much real. Like, fuck out of here. It's just the dumbest thing.
Okay, the fuck is this?
Let's see. The poll. Have you ever liked porn on a social media account? Because we talked about Samuel Jackson liking porn on Twitter and people having to tell them how likes work. 30% of our audience says yes, 70% says no. And let's check out Anchor, see what the results are there. 37% yes, 63% no. And I'm honestly surprised that it was that low. I think you can almost like porn by accident the way this shit is floating on some of these websites.
Like, just scrolling through. Yep, I have. Yep.
Like, I'm just scrolling down the timeline and boom, here comes somebody's titties or some shit,
Like, you just scrolling, you hit the heart. And sometimes it's on purpose, y'all, but sometimes it's not.
I mean, I like porn on purpose. I don't like care. It's not like I'm like, whatever. These niggas acting like it's the worst thing in the world or something, like you're some type of weirdo. I'm like, at this point, guys, it's harder to not see porn than it is to see it. We've gone too far as a society. Okay.
Right.
It's like I'm scrolling Twitter at work or something, and it's like you could be following like a professional person and they'll be like, it's like, oh, I'm following a congresswoman from Maine. And then she's like putting up a video of herself twerking on the beach. And you're like, okay, I see you, sis. That's not the content I follow for, but I appreciate it. All right. So the comment on Anchor was, go to jail, Tory Lanez, do not pass go, do not collect $200. Raphael says, go to jail, and after you're done, off to the north and take your parents with you. Hopefully that knucklehead would have read some good history books while inside and educated his parents. Langston says, in the words of that woman whose name I don't remember, you are going to jail, period. Aaron says, lock him up and throw away the key. Yeah, that's the real thing. It wasn't just that Tory wanted to go to jail. He was acting like what was his name? Like, was it Ice Pick or Toothpick in Mr. Society? Like, he couldn't just go to jail. He had to take it to that next level where it's like, dude, what are you doing? Why are you so adamant about wanting to go to jail?
Man, I ain't worried about jail, man. You sound like a bitch.
Bitch.
Man, I ain't worried about jail. Shit, man, I don't give a damn about going to jail. You can take me to jail.
Take me to jail.
Lock me up.
Lock me up.
Throw away the key.
Throw away the key.
I ain't afraid to fuck somebody in his ass.
Hey,
That's how Tory was approaching.
How did we get here?
Lee says, yes, they were all lying, but I feel he got what he deserved. Yeah, that's the other thing too, is like, and maybe it's a young people thing, or maybe Meg cares about her image in a way, or I don't know.
She's still young.
It does seem foolish to lie about fucking a dude. It does seem foolish to me, but I don't know how it was gonna make him innocent. Like it's like I could go, yeah, she probably, that's weird that she went in court and said they didn't fuck, but then also, whatever. Toy says, I'm so glad that Megan is getting justice that so many domestic violence survivors never get. Fuck Tory Lanez. Steven says, shit, all I use Twitter for is butt naked. So I guess that counts. James says you're going to jail. Lock emoji. Roger says, listen to the discussion on teens and social media apps. Do you think these red state officials feel teens are becoming more woke on the apps and using porn and adult content as a cover up? I'm sure that's some part of it. I think also they don't like it's this thing where like it's that one is the worst person you know has a point. It's the worst person you know has a point. This is the one time where them going, yeah, they are being exposed to pornography and shit like that. And I have to be like, well, yeah, that is true this time. It's not the same as, to me, a drag queen read a book at the library. I'm
It's
like,
not the
oh,
same.
that's not even close to the fucking same. But I've been on social media and yeah, you can be scrolling and just someone can decide to retweet something, someone like it's just the guardrails are not firmly in place there. And we've even seen like Tumblr had to like take like reconstitute itself and like break itself down because because a lot of these companies can't really regulate what's on their site until it's too late. And so they had a problem where it's like child porn was on their site, like and Apple had to was like, we're gonna take this shit off the store because y'all can't get this under control. I mean, that is kind of major, that and because our government doesn't regulate these sites really, and the sites themselves don't really regulate the sites. They do a lot of after the fire, trying to put the fire out thing.
A computer generate things where it flags shit that it shouldn't flag and don't flag
Right.
shit that it should flag because it's not a fucking human being.
Yeah, so I hate to even like give them some of this, but it's a valid point. I think but they may have ulterior motives, and
Agreed.
what can be done about it, I'm not really sure what the right answer is, but I won't go so far as to act like it's not a problem. I think all of you that have kids that have cell phones and stuff at this point are probably having to at least think about what does this mean, and
Try
you're
to put all
probably
types of
checking their stuff.
filters up, and it still don't even. Excuse me, it still don't even matter because they got friends, and
But
so
also, like
shit that.
they're targeted. Like there are
Right,
people
agreed.
that target the fact that your kid is online, and we've covered stories about stuff like that, whether it be blackmail or sexting or kidnapping or all kinds of shit. It's a
Yeah, they
very
do big
dangerous,
get in chat rooms and shit. Yeah,
it's a very dangerous world that these kids are entering, and the quote unquote freedom that the adults want is in direct opposition to the safety I think that the kids need. So yeah, I do think, but yeah, I do think Republicans probably have ulterior motives. Ms. Barnes says, to answer your poll question, yes, and I actually have a porn star that follows me on IG. Oh shit. Yeah, I got a few that follow me on Twitter, and I'm always like, how did you know? Like I got followed by Cinnamon Love, who's like a porn star going back in the day, and she just followed me like a month ago or something, and I was like, oh my god, a legend. Like I was more impressed by that than like I don't know, like I don't even want to say nobody's name because it's people that follow me that's like dope ass people that are like activists, politicians, celebrities. But I was like, not Cinnamon Love. Okay, girl, shit. I've been watching you get banged out since banging out was banging out. Okay, you love to see it. Okay, so yeah, but I also just don't have I guess I just don't have the hang-ups or the guilt that comes with like porn, people watching porn or porn existing or
A
whatever.
lot of people have a hang up.
I think for me it's not like a shame and like it's like, oh, Reese's Pieces follow me. Well, let me go ahead and hit this follow back, because to me I'm like, if like it would only be weird if I made it weird by being like, yeah, man, I'm secretly following this porn star. I was like, no, I'm not gonna fuck them. Like what? It's just sometimes they just want to ask me what I think about the Lakers. Anyway,
Yeah, sometimes they talk about everything else but sex.
yeah, that's the other thing too. I think in people's minds, because we watch these people fuck, they're just walking around fuck machines, right? But in my mind, I'm like, that's probably the last thing they want to talk about
Mhm.
on
And
Twitter.
then people get mad. I come over here for a second. They was like, I'm a whole ass human being. If you don't beat it,
So I just don't be pressed or whatever. I ain't
right?
never slid in no DMs or said no creepy shit on the timeline to them or nothing. It just don't. That's not. Yeah, it's just not this. It's like if you are friends with a person that play basketball and all you like a NBA basketball player and you're like, hey man, let's go to the park and play basketball. Eventually they're gonna be like, I don't hang out with this nigga. Damn, that's my job.
That's my
Um,
job, right? It's work to them.
Veda says, so glad the verdict came correct. I know that Meg won't get all the apology she deserves, but I hope she gets all the rest and relaxation she deserves. And Keisha, aka Brooklyn Shoe Babe, says, and there will still be some niggas screaming free Tory. Oh, yes, they will. Yes, they will. The next episode was the Holy Trinity. Let's see. Appia says, I would prefer if I was murdered not to be the theme of a true crime podcast. I'm an extrovert, but the attention post-mortem, no thanks. I would even more prefer not to be murdered, but as the Germans say, life is no pony yard, meaning that you have to take what you get. And Newsy said, Rod had me looking like a crazy person in this Aldi while talking about the aggressive comedy promos. They are so aggressive. Why are they like that? I don't get it. I don't get it. If I was a stand-up comedian, I would definitely smile and like I would put a joke in my promo. It wouldn't, and it didn't. I wouldn't have to burn a joke from my special or my set, but like I'd put a joke in the fucking promo. You know, if I had a comedy album,
It's so hardcore, don't they?
yeah, I make a joke out of it. Like JL Covan has 8 albums at this point, I believe,
Mm-hmm.
or actually, you know what? That number's probably not right because
Yeah,
half black face.
they have to get that man. You know what? I believe you, JL.
Yeah, so anyway, I'm sorry. That's probably a depressing note for him listening, but
I know JL's like, damn it.
but my point being, like, he has a lot of albums, right? But when you look at the covers are part of our joke too. So it's like keep my enemies closer. He's like sitting in a bed eating cookies and shit. That's funny, and it also makes me want to laugh and want to hit play to laugh at what he's gonna say. You see what I'm saying? Thoughts and prayers, where it's got like a cartoon of like a scantily clad woman praying in church, and it's thoughts THOTS. I don't understand. When did that stop being cool? Why does every fucking I guess, and I don't know if white comedians do it as much, but why does every fucking comic album cover looks like it could also double as like a fucking hip hop cover or activist? I don't get it.
Yes, I don't know. Like nothing funny here. You're like, why would I click on that?
Like, the perfect cover for a Chris Rock album is him holding that microphone, doing that smile he does right after he does like a punchline or right between the setup. That pregnant pause or he's smiling at the audience and he's about to say some funny ass shit in a second and his eyes kind of twinkling. That's all you need for a fucking Chris Rock promo. I don't need no, dun, 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 dun. Like, I don't.
Yeah.
I don't need that shit.
Like he about to give us a hot 16.
Yeah, I don't need like a dark alley and this nigga's wearing all like a leather coat walking through a dark alley and everybody's dapping him up like he just fucking pushed Tupac off the roof in Juice or some shit. Like, I don't need that. Like, nigga, make me be funny. Make me think about, like, say something that reminds me of some of your greatest jokes, Anyway, Wangangi says Pony Yard is giving me a real Golden Girls moment. St. Olaf. The comment on YouTube, Christopher says Liam Neeson trying to pull a Sean Connery. My man was famous for being in character, but still just speaking with his accent, wasn't he? I feel like
He
his
played a lot of roles. You know what? Him and I want to say Morgan Freeman, because they got those voices. And so a lot of times, not saying fun, sometimes I think they get the roles just because of them voices.
Yeah, but Morgan Freeman doesn't have an accent that needs to be explained. Sean Connery does.
Okay, I'm with you now. I'm with you.
So like if Sean Connery is playing a cop from Texas and he's still like, stick him up or whatever, I'd be like,
nigga, ain't nothing country about your voice.
yeah, someone in the movie world, reality would be like, man, shut your lisp having ass up. And then he'd be like, I'm from Scotland or whatever the fuck. And you'd be like, oh, that explains everything. And then you just move on. I don't need a whole like 30-minute backstory, but just like one fucking line, please, of someone being like, hey, Liam Neeson, you say you work for the FBI. Why the fuck do you talk like that?
Just one line. That's all we need. We don't need no backlog, no monologue, no flashbacks.
Since as an actor, you couldn't be bothered to try to even pretend to have an American accent, let's at least bring it up in the fucking movie. I'm just saying.
If they're not gonna force you, I wouldn't either.
Yeah, that's some bullshit. Do you watch NBA games on Christmas? Yes, no, or I don't watch the NBA in general.
I like the NBA game.
Mm-hmm. So are you yes or no or what?
Yes.
I am too. 42% of people watch the NBA games on Christmas. 13% do not. And then there's 45% of the audience that just don't watch NBA games, period. So they're just not, fans, which is fine.
And this year was a little mixture, kind of going back and forth, because it's fucking NFL games on.
Mm-hmm.
I was like, why can't it just pick one?
Yeah. Yeah, I didn't mind, but I definitely watched more NBA than NFL. But
me too.
The thing with the NBA games is that they're on one at a time, back to back to back. And so if you do catch one that is a blowout or like a bunch of people are injured or something, it was nice to be able to turn to something else, either between commercials and shit.
Right, that's what I did.
But then it was just weird because then it becomes a pissing contest where everybody's like, the NFL ratings were so much higher than basketball. I'm like, they're always higher than basketball, and they always will be.
Correct.
What are we even debating at this point? The poll for Spotify, 36% of people, yes, they watch them. 20% do not, and 44% don't watch it in general. So about 45% of our audience just doesn't watch the NBA in general. And shout out to all the Black Santas was a Q&A. It's Toy says, yes, that's so cute. I love it. Aaron says, period. Leash says, they work harder than the others. I took my son to the mall to see Black Santa, and he had the nerve to say this wasn't the real Santa because the real Santa is white. Ooh, girl, put some coal in his stocking. Raphael says, respect to all the Black Santas giving up. Actually, that's just white supremacy, y'all. It ain't the baby's fault, but you know what I'm saying. It's like that black baby doll. We still doing the black baby doll test 50 years later. Raphael says, respect all the Black Santas giving up the holy trinities to join these streets. Only for some kids to still be asking for a dragon mermaid from Wakanda because they were nice. Go to the whites. I'm surprised you didn't say giving up the holy NFTs, but okay. James says, especially you, Rod. Miss Barnes says, I leave Black Santa tequila and good cigars. We are all lactose intolerant. No need for milk and cookies. Oh, yeah, I can see that. Leave Black Santa some of that brown. Now, what are the rules on slaying while drunk? Because I feel like if enough of us do that, he ain't making it to all the houses. Nelson says, call me Santa for the city girls. Just sit on my lap and tell me what you want.
Oh shit.
That's not what
somebody kissing Santa Claus. That's what's happening right there.
Oh, Black Santa ain't gonna be saying shit like that at the mall. You can sit on my lap. I don't know about your kids though. Come on over here, girl.
I got a little present for you. It's time with the letter D.
Roger says, what are Black Santa reindeer names? Oh no.
Hennessy.
Right. On Hennessy. On Newport.
On stocking cap.
On Durag.
On Afro comb.
That's just gonna get problematic, guys.
On cocoa butter.
On Magnum. On oh man. Let's see. And then instead of Rudolph the Red-Nosed Reindeer, they have Boo Boo the Food Reindeer. Okay, and that's why nobody is Boo Boo the Food, because it's a reindeer. Keisha says thank you. Steven says saw some whack ass politician talking about no woke Santa this year with his family in a tweet. Pretty damn pathetic. Through that, I found Santa Blair from OK. Dude gotta be the freshest Santa ever. Yeah. And then that woke in that clearly was just them saying nigga, right? Like it was not clever. It was just like a no woke Santa, meaning no black Santa, which is just woke has become anything Republicans wanted to be now.
Great. It's
Druzo
lost
said,
all its meaning.
Dr. Uzo says, yes, we've successfully kept all the depictions of Santa around my 3-year-old, super black, mostly for fun, and thanks to the wider availability of Black Santa imagery, clothes, books, etc. Oh, that's so nice. Little black kids get to grow up and just have a black Santa. That's so dope. All right, let's go to the next episode, which is Smashing 2652, Smashing Biscuits to British Smithereens. We talked about that British pole and what they were doing with their British poles. Oh, and British holes too. Okay, there you go. There's some freaks across the pond. Okay. So Appia says, I wouldn't want to have sex for 45 to 60 minutes on a regular basis, maybe on a special occasion. Otherwise, it would make me want to have less. Like, I still have stuff to do, so better not. I'm still happy in the sex department. We are together since 2006 and have kids and stressful jobs, so that's a miracle. Airplane bathrooms seem terrible for sex, small, not very nice. I can only see people using it for the story. And then she says, oh no, I just remember I told my husband's sisters to listen to this, the sister to listen to this show and put it in her phone. Great timing, Appia. Well, you didn't say anything bad.
No, you didn't say anything too bad. And also I think as people get older, everything just changes, because the people's response a lot of times will depend on your age. Because you get older, you be like, shit to do. I can't be sitting around fucking all day. It's other things to do.
And I mean, it's like anything, right? You get older and there's just more shit to do and less time to do it, and I mean, there's some people that really, really, really prioritize sex,
Agreed, right? For some people, like that's their jam. I know it's a running joke, but yeah, for some people, that's their jam.
But I think like anything, whatever your thing is, unless you're extremely committed to it, as you get older, you just have more commitments. It's just part of being older. Ms. Barnes says, man, fuck Duke Power. I was on the way to my part-time gig and real random, like the stoplights on the way to work were out. Main intersections to the shopping mall center on Christmas Eve. Duke Power was begging for an accident to happen. They know better. Yeah, and it's getting bad too, because they're like, the Charlotte Observer is really investigating that and trying to get to the bottom of how those decisions were made and why. And they tried, right. And Duke Power tried to blame it on some solar power bullshit like they did in Texas, and people are like, no, the fuck, that's not the problem. And then the poll, Lakita says per the poll, absolutely. And the poll, because the poll was, have you ever faked the orgasm? We'll come back to the poll results in a second. Let's check see if there's any comments on YouTube. Doesn't look like they are for this episode. Okay, so now we'll do the poll. Have you ever faked the orgasm? 71% yes. 29% no. And then the poll on Spotify, 67% yes, 33% no, about the same. And then the Q&A, go home, Carrie Lake, you're drunk. All the answers are white family says Americans will never answer sex questions honestly because of lying GOP evangelicals. They know they get it in, but they won't admit it. So the if you have a poll, yeah, I mean, but is that an American thing? I feel like every country got some type of religious shit about
some
sex.
Type of conservatism.
Yeah. So just put it in the margin of error. James says, jump in the late, Carrie. Kentrell says, we are adults and this is ridiculous. Yeah, cut the fuck. Raphael says Carrie Lake is the exact opposite of good Melvin. Now Melvin was drunk. Carrie should be sent to the mirror dimension herself, along with all the election deniers. I'll still sell them NFTs before they vanished. All right, that's it for that episode, and let's get to the last episode of the week, which is 2653, the legendary Master Sword. Appia said, oh wait, no, Cheyenne says, hey y'all, I have to pause the show to comment on the bail fund organization. Why was that repeat offender offered bail? I hope the organization is able to keep running. They have a great cause, and our WAC system created that level of negligence. I know they said, yeah. I just don't. I know their official story is like we need to reorganize some money, and it has nothing to do with this very public outcry and this lawsuit, and and whatnot on it. And maybe that's the truth, and maybe they're gonna come back at some point and really say like, we're committed. Like I doubt that they bailed everybody out in Las Vegas and that's the end of it, so right. Maybe, it could definitely be something else. I saw Victoria on Twitter was saying that she thought I was over analyzing and it wasn't what I think it kind of looks like, to which I hope she's right, to be honest, but also like, why wouldn't you put out a statement?
And only time will tell, because you know what, in 6 months from now, if y'all are back, okay, cool. But if y'all not, okay, I'm start asking questions.
Yeah, and my thing is this: if it is what I think it is, what would they say?
Right.
Yeah, guys, it's getting hot out here. It's some bad PR, and we might be about to, take a bit of a financial hit. So we just gonna dip, and good luck to all the people in jail. No, they wouldn't say it. So it's kind of hard to disprove, but I'm as I said several times on the show, I'm speculating, and I hope I'm wrong, because I just find the general tenor of a lot of this like convenient theoretical activism is just hard once the scenarios happen that underline the risk of it. It just feels like, or seems like, a lot of times people pretend like they can't happen or won't happen, and then when they happen, they just go, yeah, throw the whole thing away. We weren't, it's not that serious,
Mm-hmm. And over the years, particularly being on social media and being online and like listening to people, you've seen it happen in various different ways. It happens to big organizations, it happens to small organizations, it happens all across the board. And so it's one of those things, like once you see it, you can't unsee the pattern. And sometimes I think, in my personal opinion, when people are not trying funny directly involved in these organizations, or they have a lot more invested than other people, sometimes it's hard for them to see that this is what how somebody outside the organization is actually viewing these things, or somebody outside of the system is actually viewing these things. It's hard for them to kind of understand and comprehend. Like, to them, they was like, well, where is this even coming from, and I don't understand why.
Well,
But it does.
No, you go ahead, you finish.
But it doesn't make what these people are seeing not fact. Sometimes, you can't be like, well, I don't see it, it's not around me, that means therefore it's not real. That's not true either.
It's also how conservatives attack these movements is through media sensationalism and through bad press. I watch it happen all the time in New York City, where when Mayor Adams wanted to, and the Daily News and the New York Post wanted to make Democrats look bad, they bring up every case of a recidivist criminal, that someone is just unrepentant. It's like he was let out on the zero cash bail, and seconds later he was robbing another person, or he raped somebody, or he shot somebody. And it's all designed to make you feel like we should not let these people out. Now, what they're never going to cover, 75% of these people or 90% of these people are nonviolent offenders, or even the people that are recidivists. Right. Maybe the thing they were doing was like jumping bail or some shit, right? Jumping the turnstile. They don't cover it that way. They're just like, he said, I'll be out in a minute anyway, and fuck you to the police. And he was out in a minute. And so my thing is, if the thing is to fold up shop when the bad press hits, none of the movements will ever take off.
Right.
You just have to stand it out. And so as I said on the show, I hope that I'm wrong and it's just completely coincidental and unrelated. That would be better than, and they wouldn't say it, but that would be better than them being like, man, listen, this shit is harder to make a popular cause with, John Legend, when someone can easily bring up, well, what about this dude, All right.
And also, I'm sorry. And also,
Oh,
this is why for a lot of these organizations, regardless of how big or how small, I'm on the outside looking in. All of them have something wrong with them, and have people consistently criticizing the things that they do, the things that they say. It's always somebody that does not like what they do because, like you say, because of the way they report it or the way these things come out. Sometimes these things are true, and sometimes these things are not. But you don't see any of these organizations that everybody loves because you're dealing with people, and people are fickle. You're trying to push these policies and these things, which is a great, wonderful thing. But there's always going to be an exception to these rules. And a lot of times people point out the exceptions to the rules versus pointing out the amount of people that have been impacted, all the good things that come out, all the families they save, all the families they put together, all the lives they save. Instead of them pointing out that shit, they'll point out the 0.01% that's fucked up to act like anything that they do is absolutely pointless, and that's not true.
All right. Abia says, I have a job where I can't have social anxiety, or maybe if you do it long enough, you train yourself out of it. I talked a lot on the phone, private and professional, because when I drive, I have time. I have also often calls with people I haven't met yet, and where I have to establish some connection in 5 minutes, or part of it, as well as public speaking. Also, public speaking where people ask me medical questions. My supervisor is also sometimes there, and I hope I can answer everything. And if I can't, he will comment on it afterwards. I mostly can, and Wolfgang, that's his name, is a good guy. Public speaking with no preparation, like when I'm in a group of 20 physicians, they ask me to introduce everyone to everyone, and I hope I get all the names, the place they work, right, and a funny story. Rejection sometimes in front of others is also part of it. Honestly, it's a great exercise. When things don't work out, I think you win a lot and you have to lose sometimes. Otherwise, it's not normal. This is now. But I have other problems. I promise. I got it got way better, but obsessive worrying and seeing catastrophic events in my imagination are not fun either. Well, I
No,
don't know.
it's not.
You have to balance it out. It's fine to big up yourself. I wasn't gonna say nothing about you. Lakita says, regarding the poll, depending on the data set you use, I'm a baby Gen Xer or an elder millennial. Either way, I avoid talking on phone. Sure, I can, I just don't want to. However, I've 100% seen this inability in my kids, nieces, and nephews. I blame myself and just work with them where they are. Role play helps a lot. Plus, having assholes in the family is awesome practice in dealing with conflict. Laugh my ass out. No one ever brings up that part of having assholes in the family. You're gonna meet assholes in real life, and that's your first practice. Okay, that's a
Right.
good point.
Yeah. My interaction with assholes was playing spades. Like, people, you're like, oh, yeah, I thought you loved me. Apparently, you don't.
Sound like your interaction with assholes is about the thermostat, Karen, and you need to be honest.
You know what? That is true. Get your ass away from there. You got light bill money?
Trey says, hey, Rod and Karen, thanks again for another great episode. I just wanted to say that I agree with this Bell group, that this Bell group should keep pushing, because there's no way they can know if a person was going to reoffend. But I assume them being celebrities, that may have been worried about the effect their celebrity careers or status, maybe. Yeah, and I mean, so the Bell group isn't necessarily the celebrities, it's endorsed by the celebrities, and they like help promote the cause. But I'm sure the people that do the day-to-day operations are not the celebrities. The problem with all the celebrity influencer culture is that culture is based and predicated upon looking good all the time. And it's just difficult when something like this means you're gonna take a L every once in a while. And there are and Republicans and conservatives and Twitter trolls are petty, and they probably do be in John Legend's mentions like, you said you support this and this man got shot. But just because them motherfuckers might walk away or not want to say shit, I hope the work continues to be done. So yeah, we'll see. Like I said, it could be something totally unrelated, and like Karen said, 6 months from now they could be back and be like, we reorganize and we're still doing this work here. But I don't
And
know. It just, the timing feels weird.
I really hope they do. And and this just my educated guess. A lot of celebrities do shit and they do it anonymously, and they tell people, "Don't y'all say my motherfucking name." And this is why, because they was like, when shit go awry or if something happens, it's still you as an organization, and my name is not attached to it in any way, shape, form, or fashion.
Yeah, that's an interesting take on it. Yeah, I never really
Because they
thought
want to
about it
still
like
want to
that.
do good work, but they don't want to deal with that part of it.
Yeah, I just never thought about it like that. But that's a good. That could be a, like, because we always make anonymous donation as like a complete altruistic, like you're a good person thing, and we judge people for not anonymously donating, which I always thought was one of the dumbest fucking things we do.
Because
But
sometimes I do it.
yeah, but my point being, when you anonymously donate, you're right. If that org does something unpopular or fucks up somehow, you can always just be like, I'm glad I ain't put my name on that shit. You
Correct.
know, that's a good point. Anyway, you said oh, I think a lot of, as long as the group has proper legal minds doing proper vetting of choices, they should be okay. Sometimes you're going to get it wrong, so your vetting process better be right. Thanks, y'all. Yeah, and also, like, even with the people that are pro, like, no cash bail, blah blah blah, they have a line, and if you talk to a lot of them, they'll tell you like, well, nah, if someone like just beat up their girlfriend, we're not gonna be like, let's get this man back on the streets within,
Right.
as fast as possible. It's like, no, that person probably does need to be in there, and because it's a direct threat to somebody else. And
Mhm.
when and if, knowing how much people escalate and reoffend with that, if we are part of that narrative and this person does harm somebody, it's going to be really hard not to point out that we were that group. And so I don't think any of these funds are absolutist, and I think a lot of them are vetting and stuff, but it's just, in order to talk about it, it becomes like flattened. And especially once it gets to social media, it's very flattened into like, free everybody, and it's just like, no one's doing that.
Correct. Like that's not realistic. That's not how this functions, and that is not how this works. And it's also one of those things to where, a lot of these organizations, they actually have some forms of checks and balances. Most of them ain't out here ollie oxen free. Like you do certain. That's why a lot for not a lot of them are like, hey, if you out here committing quote unquote violent crimes, no,
Right.
like they do have restrictions.
P.S. I wanted to add that by me saying that what I said above does not mean that I think everybody should be released. I'm not a prison abolitionist. LOL. Some of these folks need to be locked up, like that couple who interrupted Wendell Pierce on the stage while he was acting in Death of a Salesman. LOL. Sean says on that Facebook story, for me, Facebook is the cause. I moved Facebook off of my phone screen, didn't move the app, just made it less accessible. And I have so much more time, energy, and joie de vivre. That's a French for something. I will still occasionally open it and see idiots shit talking She-Hulk or some post about some right-wing idiot like Peterson or Shapiro, but it's easier to ignore if you spend less time there. Why are there so many stupid people? Why? Sorry, closing Facebook. I think I'll stay off of it for the next week or two. Yeah, I think the thing for me is I rarely see the direct stupid people as much anymore.
Right. I see
I
people
just see people.
responding to them.
Yeah.
And I'm like, oh, you need to clean up your timeline.
Yeah.
Like,
But I was talking to a friend the other day. I was like, I'm actually starting to even not see the point of people that once they're taken out of context or taken purposely in the worst way ever for whatever they said, I'm starting to even be like, why did you even waste time trying to explain it? These motherfuckers don't care. It's like you can say something totally reasonable and rational that if you were having a conversation with a person that over lunch or something, they would at least understand your point, and they would give you the benefit of the doubt because they would assume you're a good person. Like this dude Andrew Tate, they arrested him for sex trafficking. He's a terrible misogynist and a bunch of other shit. And so some people were saying he's an incel. And there was this woman on Twitter who basically, kind of threaded the needle. It's like, yeah, he's not an incel, and it's a distinction that kind of matters because the reason he was able to do what he did is because he's not involuntary celibate, and those terms mean things. It's not just misogynist equal incel. And people were like, he is a sex trafficker and a rapist, so I don't know why you're defending him. And I was like, oh my god,
They wouldn't
like
defend them. They were just saying like there is a difference. And what was that word you used? Involuntary. What's that mean?
incel, involuntary celibate. There are people that want to have sex with women. We've talked about this on the show, I'm sure, a lot of times, but there are people that want to have sex with women, but because women don't like them, don't want to have sex with them, they're terrible people, whatever the reason is, they then turn it into like some manosphere shit, and they become women haters, and believe all this stupid ass, like, women just want to be with thugs, or you need to like they don't want good men, and women need to be forced to have sex with us and shit like that.
Okay, because I've always heard incel. Like, not trying to find. I haven't heard like the whole.
Oh, okay.
I don't know if that makes sense. I haven't heard like the whole word. I was like, what did that mean? So when people say incel, I didn't realize. I thought incel was the word. I didn't realize it represented a longer phrase.
Yes, and so she was just making a distinction, which I think is a valid and important distinction if you want to have this conversation, in that
It is.
not everybody that's a misogynist is necessarily an incel. And some of these dudes use the fact that they can and do have sex to like gain and favor and shit, to become like more of a like a quote unquote alpha male and all that shit. And she was just pointing out he moves differently than people said he moves. And they were like, you're defending him. And I was like, that is Twitter in a nutshell. Because
Correct.
that was at no point a defense of this man. That was at no point but anyway. And so what I thought was cool about it is she didn't even spend any time trying to be like a thread on let me explain what I meant. She just like, I know y'all know what I mean, and I know that y'all are doing this on purpose, and I'm muting this shit. And I was like, yes, I respect that more than let me make a 17 fucking 17 thread thing to explain to y'all this shit that you're never gonna agree. You know what I mean?
Right. And you actually don't care. I was your quote unquote dunk of the day. You'll be on to some other shit and nothing I said mattered. And but that person said is valid, and probably they were probably like, this is why they were allowed to get away with what they did for so long. It's because of this. Like, you have to think a lot of times people are actually looking and watching people that are in these groups. That's different than somebody else who's on the outside of this group doing shit.
Right. So anyway, Mwangangi says, I love talking on the phone. I hate voicemails. I'm a Gen Xer, and free long distance and talking to people all over the earth for free is both amazing and rewarding. And since one of my kids is at McMurdo Station in Antarctica, I literally have friends on every continent. Make travel cheaper and better. You almost always have a local guide. Dope. I'm glad people enjoy talking on the phone, nothing wrong with that. Let's see if we had any comments on this episode on YouTube.
I can talk on. We talking about talking on the phone. I can talk on the phone. I just have to be in the mood to talk on the phone. I used to talk on the phone a lot more when I was younger, but I think as I don't mean to be cruel or mean, but I'm a talker. As y'all know, I talk for a motherfucking living. Y'all pay me to talk, but I used to talk a lot more as a kid. Like, I would talk the motherfucking house down. I still can every now and then. But as I've gotten older, I've learned it's time to talk and it's time to shut the fuck up and be quiet and don't nobody hear or care about your opinion or what you got to say at this period of time. Like, I've just kind of learned and morphed into that and just kind of learned how to feel the room. And sometimes, particularly with technology stuff, I just opt out. Like, nah, I'm good. Just text me.
I think the big distinction here is also it was mostly about professional settings is what that article is about, not just talking on the phone to your friends and family and shit.
Right.
And in a professional setting, I think even people that like to talk on the phone don't always like to talk on the phone. And like the other day, I had to transfer some medicine from my pharmacy in Charlotte to to the pharmacy here, and I did it through the app. Somehow the shit didn't work, and it just wouldn't work. And I tried for days. I was like, oh, just maybe something was wrong with the app. I'll check it tomorrow. Oh, I'll check it tonight. And eventually it ended up getting screwed up. And so I was like, fuck, I have to go talk to a person in person. Like there's no,
Right.
I would have even used the chat help online. I prefer
I
that.
like to do the chat help before I call. Yeah.
And so and a similar thing happened with a package that was shipping, the same thing. Like they called me on the phone, but I was able to go to their website and use the chat help and email, and I prefer that. But with this, I didn't just have to go on the phone. I had to go talk to the person in person at the pharmacy. And the pharmacist is like, here's what you need to do. You need to call these people on the phone and then call us on the phone. And I did all that. And it wasn't like the worst thing in the world or anything, but I just thought to myself, man, I really did not want to do the in-person or phone thing. I wanted to just do it electronically. And I think maybe it's an introversion thing, but I definitely am one of those people.
And I think for a lot of people, it's the convenience because, like you say, sometimes it's just more, particularly, like I said, particularly talking about working, depending on what's happening and depending on what's going on. I like paper trails. I like emails. I like physical transactions where I can say, you said this, I said this, you said this, I said this, particularly working in professional working environments. And also, whenever you get people on the phone, you have people that are in the office, you have people that are at home chilling, you have all types of situations. So it's one of those things where it's easier to keep people on task when it's like a transaction
Well,
back and forth,
also,
and we can do one thing at a time.
you're very work antisocial at times, though. Like, you'll complain about, oh, we're gonna have a Zoom meeting, or they want me to do this type of training, or they want to get up together, or whatever. Like I think work is just different for people. Like talking, like being an extrovert and talking on the phone and all that stuff. Yeah. Oh, who wouldn't want to talk to their child that's in Antarctica? Like you better and should want that. But
I would too.
yeah, but I think this woman's business was more about your professional life and getting people to the fact that you're gonna have to talk on the phone at work. Uh,
Agreed.
one comment on YouTube, which my mom says, "Great show, dear brother and sister." Thanks, mom.
Thank you.
And the poll was, "Do you avoid talking on the phone?" Yes, all the time. Only in professional settings, or no. 64% all the time. 7% only in professional settings, and about 30%, 29% said no. And then on Anchor, 55% all the time, 15% only in professional settings, 30% no. I'm not knocking anybody or judging anybody. I think that sounds very accurate. I just think once we had so many other ways to communicate with each other, people kind of prefer those.
Yeah, and also I think that I know it might sound silly. I'm still, even though I've been the transition into the different company, it's still some things that I'm having to unlearn. Like I said, that anti interaction will raise up in me every now and then, but it actually does not need to be there sometimes. But it's just old habits are hard to break, and it's hard to unlearn those things. That is almost like an automatic, like it's almost, well, this is what I do, type of thing. So I'm not trying to find, I'm forcing myself to kind of break that frame of thought, because in certain situations it's not healthy to always rely on what you've always done when the situation doesn't require it.
Right. All right. And then comments on Anchor. It's dangerous to go alone. Take this. People said Ring the Alarm by Beyonce. Raphael says, now that I think about it, there are some Michael Jackson songs that will make me speed up. Good thing I'm loyal to the subways of NYC now. Can't be trusted driving alone. I saved myself. RN Gullidge says, now that you mention it, what kind of mask do you use in the office? I might be doing some partial in office work for the first time since the first lockdown, and I'm not trying to catch COVID. N95s, KN95s, you can find them everywhere. Those are the ones that we have in the office. It's actually mandatory that we use those. When I first got to NYC, before the Omicron, I think, blew up, I had like a cloth mask that I was wearing, which I know isn't N95 or whatever, but it was like really good for my beard and stuff. And it was for that version of COVID, it was doing just as much. And then all of a sudden, all the recommendations was like, y'all got to go to these N95. So when I'm at the office, I wear the N95.
Yeah, and they're closer to the face.
Yeah, and they have a couple types. They have one that's like a little bit wider for people with wider faces and stuff, and it doesn't necessarily go as long, but it's wider. And then they have the kind that the traditional kind that you see everywhere. But I'd only go with a KN95 if I was y'all. At least until the numbers come down in like February or something. We'll hopefully at some point be able to relax a little bit. All right, so that's it for the comments on the website. We didn't have any voicemails when I checked earlier. I'll just do a quick double check.
Okay.
And then we'll get into just the mail for the email, and
yes, we did get some mail.
Mm-hmm. And we'll end it with that. All right, so here's the emails. Let's see. John says hot bodies, airplane heroes, and moving the goalposts. Good morning, Rod and Karen. Rod, as a fellow hot body person, I truly feel your pain as I listen to horrible thermostat slavery you're dealing with up in NYC. We've been on planes that got stuck on the runway for over an hour for whatever reason, and the AC wasn't really pumping it like that. I was absolutely roasting to death. It is the worst feeling in the world. I hate that. Sorry to hear you had so many people without masks on your flight. Last time I flew, there was still mask mandates on effect. There was a guy a couple rows ahead of us who had his mask off, and it was all I could think about. Fortunately, some brave hero waited until he fell asleep and immediately snitched his ass out to the flight attendants, and that snitch ass hero was me.
I don't blame you. And I had been I've been wearing my mask more. I wear it anyway, like when I'm going to the grocery store and things like that. But I started putting it on more frequently, like when I go outside the house on my way to the car, or on my way from the car to inside the grocery store, things like that. So I started kind of going back to where I was before, and I'm kind of glad I did, because like I said, the numbers are going up and things like that. And I have went to the physical grocery store and I sneezed, and I was thinking, I'm glad I got this mask on, like I'm not sick or anything like that, but it's like, with you sneezing and things like that. And like you say, most people don't have masks or anything like that. Like if I was to be sick, people around me or in my vicinity would catch whatever I got. So, it's one of those things where I'm glad that I kind of went back. Like I said, I don't mind going back, to putting my mask back on. And it's one of those things where people the sneezing has gone up and the coughing has gone up and shit like that. Things that had kind of went down because people were actually, quote unquote, protecting themselves. But now, since everybody, is kind of quote unquote back to normal, you're going to get back to the sneezing and the coughing and people catching the flu and, just regular colds and shit. It's probably getting ready to go through the roof. And it would not be surprising if people might be hospitalized just for basic stuff because your immune system is not as strong because, for some people, it's been a few years since you've been sick.
Yeah, there's an article about that I'm going to read during the next coronavirus segment that kind of pushes back against the whole immunity deficit thing that people are saying. So, and it's from like scientists. So we'll see about that because I'm also curious if that's actually a thing.
Okay.
I know it's been something that everyone's been speculating, but it sounds like people are saying that might not be why the hospitalization rates are so high. But yeah, back to this. That Tory Lanez trial looked weird. Hold on, for some reason, okay, there we go. That chart looked wild. Did you see that the defense attorney claimed Megan and her friend must have been fighting over lanes because surely no male musician would get violent over having his music dissed by a beautiful and more popular and successful woman? Apparently, he never
What?
met any male musicians or men in general. LOL. Glad to see the verdict, and I really hate that Megan had to put up with so much misogyny and slut shaming bullshit. Yeah, I mean, I didn't even the defense attorney's gonna float out a defense. So
Yeah, that's their
it was
job.
yeah, it was gonna be stupid because he shot her. When Brittany Griner release was announced and followed by such an immediate backlash, my first thought was, "Oh, this is some Russian disinfo shit." Say what you will about Putin, but he knows how to apply pressure to the existing social, political, and cultural rifts that we have here in America. And it's totally fishy that I saw so many people who never mentioned the Marine before suddenly caping for him, like Hillary's emails, Hunter Biden laptop, and Twitter files. The whole Griner backlash looks like exactly the sort of thing that would be fueled by the former head of the KGB. Now we know likes to use GRU and enemies of online trolls, Soul Division in the US, to Soul Division in the US. And a top security and intelligence analyst that I follow argues pretty convincingly that we have actually been at cyber war with Russia since 2014, although most Americans won't really acknowledge or recognize it because it doesn't fit into their conventional notions of a boots on the ground war. I absolutely believe this. If that's any conspiracy, quote unquote, that I believe is definitely that a lot of the online discourse is motivated and controlled by the bots. And
Yeah, I do.
I see a lot of people arguing with these bots online, and part of me wonders if they know or if they I think they know. I think they don't care to know. That's what I think. I think it's very
Agreed.
this is not super sophisticated. It is almost it's almost it's so easy to know. Like I had a friend who I think she was just going through some shit at the time, but she was on Twitter and she was like saying like, stuff that she knew would kind of like rub some people on Twitter the wrong way. And then she would spend time like arguing on Twitter with the people that replied. And I remember hitting her up like, "Yo, is everything okay?"
Right. This
Because
is out of character.
you're spending a lot of time arguing with people, but it's not just that you're spending a lot of time arguing. It's like these aren't people. Like you're replying to people that are clearly like troll accounts, burner accounts, something. It's like it's got a date of creation for this account from last month. It's only got 17 tweets. It's got an anime
3
avatar picture.
followers.
Like this is basically you playing tennis against a wall. Like, are you sure that this is something that are you okay? Because this is the kind of thing there's no the only value out of this is the distraction that you're getting from it. Not there's no person on the other side of this. And then people watching you do it. And I think it's the vibe that I got was I'm okay because everyone's always okay, right? Well, I'm okay, and I don't care. I'm gonna continue to fight these bots. You know what I mean? And I think that's one person, but when you look at it on a macro level, if everyone is making those decisions constantly, then we're all being manipulated, and a lot of people just don't want to admit it. I think they don't want to admit that they need it.
Yeah, it's an addiction.
Like when you say something, you want interaction, and even if the interaction is in bad faith or not necessarily from a human being, it's still interaction to you. So saying, something like, something declarative that to me is extremely like Tory Lane should go to jail, and then you wait for the people to respond that may or may not even be real accounts followed by nobody you're following, but you wait for them to respond so you can go, man, fuck you, I said what I said. And I think enough people do that, and it's like, yeah, they know that we're gonna do that, so they can manipulate us.
Right.
Finally, This wasn't from anything in particular on the show, but it's my birthday, so fuck it, I'm going to bring it up anyways. As we get closer and closer to the possibility of Trump being indicted, have you noticed the new okey doke that Garland haters are pulling? When the topic is the search, seizure, arrest, etc. of Trump, they shout, "You or I would have been arrested already." Trump's position as former president shouldn't make any difference, especially since he broke his oath, etc. But when you bring up the fact that the DOJ will only bring indictment if they feel certain they can get a conviction and that will hold up in the appeal, thank you, hashtag sisters-in-law. A practice that Garland, Smith, and everyone else have sworn an oath to follow, suddenly it changes to, well, yeah, but they should charge him anyway because you can't let a former president get away with blank. So it's everyone should be treated the same until we don't want them to. Yeah, here's the other thing that's really scary about that is this is starting to sound like the motherfuckers that wanted Trump impeached when we knew they didn't have the votes to impeach to actually win it. And they swore up and down it was because Democrats are cowards and it doesn't matter. I just want to see these politicians on the record, blah blah blah. And two things happened. They did it, and they still called them cowards and said they were ineffective and how could they not get him impeached, which is such fucking goalpost moving bullshit. And then the second thing that happened was it didn't matter that those Republicans went on record. Like none of that was not the thing that kept any of those people out of office. If anything, some of them, they gained some seats in the fucking house. So this whole big, like the American people will really give a fuck, it was wrong. Anyway, also important.
Right, agreed. And like I said, not to be the dead horse, but this is something we talked about before. I want results. I don't give a fuck about I don't care about the confetti. I don't care about the smoke and mirrors. I don't care about y'all egos. I don't give a fuck about y'all feeling good. I want motherfucking results. And don't you come with no bullshit unless you're like, okay, this is everything. We got everything. Okay, let's go. Because that shit don't mean nothing because you're going to cry and bitch and cry and bitch. And I'm impatient. And they're not prepared and go out here and they fuck it up. Then all of a sudden it's going to be their fault when y'all fucking asked them to motherfucking rush. Sit your ass down, shut the fuck up, and let them do their goddamn jobs.
Yeah, if they don't catch them, then I don't care.
Right.
That's it. That's it for me. Like I'm not even going back and forth in histrionics and all this shit. Everything they do that makes it more of a chess move to corner this motherfucker, I'm with, and everything else I don't care about. Like I only care if they get them. All this shit will be for nothing if they don't try to get them. So they gotta get them. And Merrick is trying to get them, and that's all I ask of that man.
That's all I ask.
Oaths are important until they get in the way, etc. I just wish these people would be honest to say, I hate this fucker and I want to see him rot in jail no matter what. I could at least respect that, but they don't want to admit that they really just think the ends justify the means, so they couch it in some deeply held principle like we can't all see the glaring fact that the principle moves and changes depending on the circumstances and their preferred outcome. It's the same shit we see from progressives, restorative justice folks, body positivity people, etc. P.S. Rod, your Shannon Sharp impersonation was surprisingly good. Maybe you can find a way to use that on Game Theory. I don't think I'm gonna be on camera for Game Theory, so I don't think that will work anyway. You know, me writing in off screen, Rod says, but skip, like, yeah, that I don't think it will work.
You're like, Rod, calm this down.
Right, yeah, like I'm pretty sure that would
immediately get rejected.
Yeah, it would be frowned upon. The executive producers would be like, what are you trying to do? What's going on over here? So and it just would look thirsty. But also, like, I don't think any of my impressions are good. I just think they're funny to me. Okay, so I think that's the thing. Like, I don't think about Stephen A. Smith is accurate to Stephen A. Smith, but I think every Stephen A. Smith impression is hilarious. All of them. If you really give a fuck and you want to, like, and also my impressions vary in quality. Like I don't practice them, so they're not always good. Sometimes it sounds good to me and I'm like, oh, I think I nailed that one. And then some days I'm like, I'm just doing this voice because this is about where the voice would go. Yeah, I love Shannon Sharp. And he's such his voice and the way he carries himself is so hilarious. Merry Christmas and happy holidays to you both. Wishing you both the best, and especially in dealing with the challenge of being apart during the holidays. Stay safe and thanks for your amazing year, laughs, and insights. Thank you.
Thank you.
Desiree says, hi, Rod and Karen. While I think it's important for everyone to take some personal responsibility for their health, I think walking a lot is more about city planning. If you live in a place that is relatively safe with stores, entertainment, restaurants, etc., within easy walking distance and reliable mass transit, you will probably do more walking without consciously thinking about it than if you live in a place that is more spread out and designed for a car-centered lifestyle. I live in Brooklyn and I do walk a lot. I also walk by a lot of bakeries, cakes, and restaurants, and I'm sure I would be thinner with less good food around, but I would also be depressed. There are many factors to consider for being healthy. That's a great point. Yeah, I was walking, been walking back and forth to work. And one, I think I tweaked my hip a little bit doing something. I don't know if I was like getting out of, like, I don't know what I did, but I tweaked it a little bit, but I'm fine to walk in straight lines, so I'm good. But it was funny because I took a little bit route different because I had to go to the CVS, and just walking on one side of the street compared to the other side of the street, like the side of the street I was on yesterday had all the food on it. I was just like walking by like smells and aroma. So I was like, damn, I gotta go back to the other side of the street. I'll stop in all these motherfuckers. But yeah, Rod, I hope your time in New York goes well and look forward to seeing new episodes of Game Theory. I know you'll get more into these mean streets at your own time and pace. Here are some tips for getting around. Sorry if you heard these before. One, try to keep to your right no matter which direction you're walking. It keeps the sidewalk traffic flowing and it's less likely for someone to bump into you. Yeah, I do try to do that. Unfortunately, everybody ain't doing that. So basically, it's all vibes out there.
Some people in the middle. I remember some people was like, okay, you just, we're gonna rock in the middle, okay.
Yeah, the place I'm at isn't very crowded at the moment. Although tonight it's probably gonna get crowded because it's closer to Times Square and it's New Year's Eve and shit. But yeah, I mean, there's the sidewalk is mostly sparsely, it's not condensed, so it's mostly just you walk to avoid people. I haven't had a problem walking that way. Two, if you're trying to find an address in Manhattan, odd numbers are on the north side of the street, even numbers on the south side. For avenues, odd numbers on the west side of the street, even numbers on the east side. Yep, don't matter. I'm using Apple Maps and it's getting
you better sound like me. Like, you better map me down.
Yeah, I'm not a person that knows north, east, west, south as I'm walking. I'm just not one of those guys. Three, if you have to take the train, usually in Manhattan, the uptown train enters on the east side of the street and the downtown train enters on the west side of the street. I haven't taken a train yet, but I have an app if I have to use a train. Happy holidays, happy New Year's to you both. That's right. Thank you for the nice tips.
Thank you.
I hope I'm pronouncing this right. It's either Kiana. I think it is Kiana. I think she told us it was Kiana before. I hope I didn't say it right. Kiana says, hey guys, I'm listening to episode 2649. I wanted to add something to what y'all were saying about church attendance being down. The George Floyd protests and the truth coming out about how AG Cameron lied during the Breonna Taylor case also happened during the height of the pandemic. We witnessed the silence of the church on social justice issues, as well as housing equity, as access to healthcare and a fair living wage. Like Rod said, going to church became political and sadly for all the wrong reasons. As someone who still very much loves the Lord, I don't think you can call yourself a Christian and be apathetic or flat out harmful towards others to the magnitude we witness as a whole. So I think a lot of people have left church buildings and have dedicated themselves to doing the work of the church that the church should be doing. I, for one, refuse to go to a church that is not actively engaged in decolonizing Christianity. I also want to point out that when I say the church, I'm specifically speaking about the white evangelicalism. Although I definitely needed the black church to be more vocal about these issues, the idea of deconstructing one's faith has become a far more common conversation among a lot of Christians, specifically because of this. Anywho, that's just my 2 cents. Love y'all.
Thank you.
Yeah, I agree with all that. That makes a lot of sense. And then she wrote in again to say, listening to episode 2652, the result of the British sex poll results about sex toys, and bruh, let me tell y'all a quick story. I'm a long-time listener. I remember when Adam and Eve was a heavy sponsor. A few years ago, I decided to spice it up and get some toys for me and the man. Well, let me start saying good looking out, y'all, if you know what I mean. We do know what you mean. Mm-hmm. Well, I was completely unaware of how aggressive the website's marketing is, and I was getting emails whenever they had sales, which is quite frequent. I know.
Mm-hmm.
I had to be like, "Can y'all turn this down a bit?"
Mm-hmm.
You know. I'm at my work desk one day. When my lieutenant comes over, and looking at something on my monitor, I had Gmail open in the other monitor, and I got an email from Adam and Eve that was about a sale on butt plugs.
Oh no! Hilarious.
Them emails do be spicy as hell. They really do.
They'll
I
be
mean,
trying to hide nothing. They'll be like, you know what you signed up for.
I love a good sale as much as anybody else, but like the fucking titles and the pictures that go with these emails are blatantly just it's just out there.
They'll be like,
You
is that
know?
spam?
Right.
No,
It's
not
like,
spam.
we got another package for you this Christmas, a dick in a box. And like, all right.
Ah!
The RE notification says some shit like, wanna have a buttload of fun?
Oh no! That's funny.
Yes. That might be the title of
That's
um
hilarious.
but that's the kind of stuff they write. And you really it's like a sale on butt plugs. Buy one, get two free. Which is another thing. How are they in business with these sales? Anyway. With an eggplant and a squirt emoji, me and my lieutenant were looking at each other like that gif of Diddy and that contestant for The Voice. I was mortified for 3.5 seconds and then remembered that his ass is a whole asshole, and I moved on. Good times. All right, love y'all, Kiana. Thank you. All right, Karen, what we get in the mail?
Hold on one second.
All right, Karen's gotta gather the mail real quick. Which listen, we love to see. We appreciate y'all for looking out. Because you didn't have to do it, but you did it anyway. So appreciate y'all. Matter of fact, I'll play some music until Karen gets back. Are you good?
Yeah, I am good. Y'all know niggas been cold here, so I ain't been checking nobody's mail. The regular mail, the post office mail, nobody's mail. So since the temperature went down, I was like, fuck that. So I finally took my black ass up to the post office. And y'all came through. Y'all was like, y'all know what we gonna do? Find that address and send them some shit. So I thank you. I got some cards, and the first one is from the Felters, so Michael Felter and his family.
Oh, yeah.
Pretty babies.
Love them.
Yeah, pretty babies. He was just on Chris Lambert's show.
Mm-hmm.
And I got this one.
Oh, this is beautiful. Where are people getting these beautiful black cars?
Yeah, honey, y'all be finding the mahogany section. I don't know what y'all be doing, but y'all be like, mahogany, please. Oh my gosh, Christmas is near. And you're on my nice list. Oh, dear Rod and Karen, I'm trying to write this in print this time. As you can see, it's as bad as my cursive. Anyway, thank you for all that you do. May the holidays fill you with magic, and may the new year bring joy and laughter every single day. Sincerely, Cassie Ford, Cass always. Thank you, baby.
Oh, that's beautiful. Thank you. I love the style of that card.
Right?
And the winner is...
I don't know if y'all can see the texture on it.
Yeah, we can. It's beautiful.
And I got a reef on it. This is pretty. Rod and Karen, thank you so much. Filling the airways with joy and laughter. Merry Christmas and wishing you the best in the new year. Love, Tiffany, a rich bitch Spotify listener. Hey! P.S. P.S. I forgot. Rod doesn't like cursive when I was writing. So here is the text version of the card. Merry Christmas. Thank you,
Oh,
baby.
thank you. I'm sorry. Curse is hard to read. As this is. I'm not even sure why that ever was a thing. Feels racist.
Oh, told you. Y'all be mahogany centraling it up.
Joy to the world. Okay.
Oh, and baby's singing. Oh, and the baby's got braids and froze and puffs. Oh, wishing you and yours every little sweet and beautiful joy of the season. Love, Allegra. Oh, thank you,
Oh,
baby.
thank you. Christmas tree. Okay. Merry
Yeah.
Christmas.
Merry Christmas, dear Rod and Karen. Thanks for making the universe a nicer place to be. The value of your voices is immeasurable. Thank you for creating such a beautiful and engaging community in which I feel at home. Happy holidays. Oh, Miss Holiday. Thank you, baby.
Thank you. Oh man. This is why we didn't get 5-star reviews, but we got cards, and that's even better.
Yeah, I guess these people who must already left the 5-star, they were like, look, I don't know, we done already left y'all 5-star reviews, so we're gonna send a card. And I ain't mad at you. Hold on, this one kind of have a hard time getting this one out. Hold on.
Okay. Okay. No problem. We're gonna get it together.
Pictures of family.
Oh, holly jolly.
Oh, pictures on the front and pictures on the back. Oh, have some holly jolly, happy holidays. Wishing you warm and cheerful, blessed holiday season. Love, Will. Hold on, Evelyn
Mm.
and Natalie.
Oh, thank you.
Y'all, please work with me. Forgive me, y'all. Like I said, this is normally Rod's job.
But don't be hard on yourself, baby. It's listen, we're all human. Half this shit is in cursive. It's fine.
Yeah, and just the way people write. Dear Rod and Karen, so happy to have uh okay. So happy to be a listener to your last oh hold on. I'm sorry, because it's in cursive. I'm sorry, y'all.
Just see you now. Y'all see what I'm saying? It's harder than it looks.
Okay, I'm going to paraphrase here. You know, they were so happy to be listening to our podcast last year. Wow, missing out on so much. On September 2021, I gave birth to Evelyn,
Oh,
and you two kept me company during the maternity leave. Oh, I love the live broadcasts and chats. Happy holidays, Rod, and best of luck with season 2 of Game Theory.
oh,
Oh, much love. Thank you, baby.
thank you. This is what it's all about, guys. Hang all the mistletoe. I'm gonna get to
Right.
know.
I don't know, people at the post office was like, God damn, everybody was sending shit.
Oh, bright New Year's beginning. Okay. I
Yeah.
mean, we are getting late in the game, and it is about time for the New Year's cards instead. So
Yes.
I get it,
May,
everybody.
May 2023 be filled with peace, love, and laughter. Rod and Karen, hope the new year is everything you could wish for and even better than imagine. Rain.
Thank
Oh,
you.
that's sweet. I got a black Santa Claus.
Oh, we love to see it. Okay.
Santa Claus got on glasses. Merry Christmas, dear Rod and Karen. Merry Christmas. Happy New Year. Thank you for the consistent kindness, hilarity, and humanity. I am grateful to you both for the ray of light that you show. Have, oh, huge love, festive greetings. All from Jay in the UK.
Not
Oh,
from the UK. Thank you.
oh. And look at the back. It got the little ho ho hos.
Hmm. Thank you, big.
Oh,
Thank you, Big Mine.
that's precious. Happy holidays.
Mm. Nice blue silver font. Yeah.
Yes. Rod and Karen, the best wishes to you and yours for a wonderful holiday season. Wishing you a wonderful and a very Merry Christmas and a fabulous New Year. Tanya
Oh,
WY2. Oh, thank you,
thank you,
baby.
Tanya. You're right. We did get a lot.
Yeah, I looked in the mail. I was like, good God. Everybody was like, we going to find that address. And this is on the back of it.
Hmm.
That's the back of the thing itself. Oh,
Oh, it's two penguins. Okay.
yes. Okay. This was an encouragement, so work with me, y'all. Happy holidays to you, dear Rod and Karen. I am wishing you a warm, cozy holiday season and a phenomenal, blessed 2023. You so deserve it. Thank you so much for bringing so much light and laughter to yet another year of life, keeping me company as I go through my days, and for you bringing such a source of goodness for so many of us who love and listen to your show. All my best wishes to you and yours this holiday season. Love always, Aaron. Oh, always Aaron. That's
Thank
beautiful.
you,
Oh,
Aaron.
thank you.
Very nice. Aaron with an E. Oh, it's
Yeah.
okay. I'm sorry. Okay.
Yes.
Yeah. Okay. Yeah. Okay. I think I know who that is.
Oh, this came wrapped in some paper.
Hmm. Okay. I see it now. Okay. Wishing you a holiday. What does it say? Free of. Okay.
Yeah, wishing you a holiday free of. Oh, what is this? Hold on. Came with a sticker. Free of. Yeah, I don't know what this is.
Okay. Paper Rock Mayhem Dan Paint. I actually don't know. Third annual Paper Rock Mayhem. I don't know. Maybe
Okay.
there's no message or note on it.
Mm-mm.
Okay. I
I
don't
guess
know.
somebody was like,
It's
since
on the
everybody else
mailing list.
mailing some shit, we gonna mail y'all some shit too. Last name is Waters.
Okay. I don't know.
And this one is overseas military. So apparently this is some overseas stuff.
Okay. We got the soldiers, the Blackout Tips Army in the building.
Oh, and this came with a gift.
Oh, cool. Some candy. Celebrations.
Mm-hmm.
Oh, no, that'll be gone from when I get back.
I can't promise you that's gonna last long, buddy. Now I'm not even I'm not even gonna lie. I will not make promises that am not willing to keep. A little.
Oh, a polar bear with a penguin riding on it and some mountains in the background.
Mhm. Wishing you a wonderful Christmas. Season's greetings, Rod and Karen. Sending you guys a little treat from England. On when me and my fam and I are for 3 years. May your New Year's bring you the thing you worked for so much. Love, Uncle K. Oh, thank you,
Wow.
baby. And I'm,
Chaps
I'm gonna
across,
tear this candy up all the way from across the water.
yeah, the chaps across the pond coming through this Christmas. You know, they really putting their foot in it.
Yes. Okay. Oh, this is the outside.
Mm-hmm. Oh yeah, that's a beautiful envelope. Snoopy.
Yes. Wishing you a Christmas that makes you feel warm and cozy and loved because you are K Rod. Thank
Oh.
you for all the love and thought provoking conversations y'all have provided this year. You are the best friends in my head, and it wouldn't be the same without you. Have a safe and happy holiday. Oh, Katisha, I'm sorry, baby. I'm sorry if I'm mispronouncing your name. I'm sorry.
I think that's right.
2022. Okay,
Thank you.
2022. Thank you. And I've had these sitting around and I haven't needed them. I thought they would be useful for holiday cards you're sending to your international tippers. Oh, they not stickers, but postage.
Stamps. Thank
Yeah,
you.
international
Oh,
postage.
yeah, we'll definitely be using those.
Thank you, baby. Okay, I'm gonna put this somewhere important.
Okay. You can just put it in the top drawer in a plastic thing to your left.
Okay.
Yeah, that's where I keep the stamps.
Okay. And this one came in an Amazon box.
Okay.
Yay! Yay!
What is a selfie ring lighting kit. I guess you're gonna be doing all the TikTok dances now.
Yay! Because we got one, but I don't like it. And with this one, you can turn it to the side and up and down. Because with the other one, you can only go one way, and that shit is fucking frustrating.
Yeah, I
So
guess we can throw that one away.
yeah, so I figured out with this one stand on the ground, and we can make it higher for like if when we want to do like videos or like do something
Yeah.
online and stuff, because it was very frustrating sometimes because one is you can only do up and down, one you can only do straight. That shit is fucking frustrating.
And does I'll ask later. But yes, that's dope. Because I know the other one has like a little remote control where you can take pictures and stuff with it, and you can start the recording with the remote. But I think I can still use that for this one, so it'll be fine.
Okay. Yeah. You can just USB plug and it can be tall. So, if we need to, because, you're taller than me, so we can make it tall and come down on us, to make the angle better. Dear Rod and Karen. Oh,
go ahead.
Dear Rod and Karen, hope you all have a wonderful holiday. May this light be as bright as yours. From Cass. Always. Thank you, baby.
Thank you.
I don't be. I mean, we got a TikTok, but I don't be tickety talking nobody.
Get some more content. Or as JL Covan says, content.
Yes.
I'm gonna be TikToking during game theory read downs and shit. Fucking up my job.
Put your ass out there. Okay.
Fuck up tonight.
Sir, they're gonna be like, sir. So the last thing.
Every time you open one of these, I just feel like someone's gonna get an Oscar or something. For best performance in a Christmas gift.
Yes.
And the tippy goes to.
Oh, okay. We got some alcohol.
Yes, alcohol.
I don't know if you can see it. There you go.
I can't see the name of it, but I'm sure you can tell us.
Oh yeah. It's called One Hope.
Okay. Yes, one hope.
It's a red wine.
Mm.
Rod and Karen, happy holidays. My mission is to share my love and wine and connect with people one sip at a time. Come on, one sip at a time.
Mm-hmm.
You have been formally invited to join me for this ride. Wine with Demi Ames to be your first choice for your wine tasting events and gifts. Please enjoy this present. Oh, please enjoy this present and do consider purchasing One Hope link in the future for your favorite nonprofit. Receive 10% of the proceeds. Cheers.
Oh,
Wine with Demi, aka Deasia.
yeah,
Oh,
D. You know, D was on the show. She we talked about wine with her this year, and obviously the annual marathon that she does in honor of her mom. So
mm-hmm.
we appreciate the gift. Thank you.
We appreciate the gift. Thank you. Y'all actually was not playing. Y'all was like, we gonna find these niggas' address and send them shit. And I appreciate everybody for sending us things and going on the list because that's not something that you have to do. And no, it's not too late to receive a holiday card, baby. If y'all want to continue to
Yeah,
send
send them on.
yeah, y'all can. Like I said, and actually, the holidays ain't over. For a lot of
You can
people that
continue to also send us your mailing address if you do want a card when we eventually put them out. So
hmm
just email us the blackouts at Gmail.
yeah, and like I said, if you decide that you want to do something on Amazon Wishlist, you can do that too. And we thank you. Like I said, you don't have to do anything. And like I said, the biggest gift for us is the 5-star reviews. Be it you leave a 5 stars or leave a review and leave your comments. Like I said, your comments don't even have to be long, but we thank you all. And this year has been a wonderful year because this is the last day of 2022, and it's also time for me and Roger to kind of reflect. And this year has been actually a great year. Y'all have stuck with us, and through the transition of Rod going back to New York again, and shout out to the premium people who keeps the boat afloat. Shout out to the Spotify people. Y'all know y'all rich niggas out there. We appreciate y'all too. Holding it down out there in the world.
And
And so
I just want to throw in there real quick too for the premium people. I just did a few movie reviews. I did Glass Onion, Pinocchio, and Guillermo del Toro's Pinocchio on Netflix, and Blacklight. So those are out there for you as well if you want to listen to those.
yeah, we continue to work hard for y'all and just the tippers. Shout out to just the tippers, y'all out there too. Rod has been really, really, because since he has not missed a week, because no matter what tier you on, you are just as important to us because we know that it's a sacrifice to do this. And shout out to the people that took advantage of the sales that we've had throughout the year and things like that. Like we appreciate every single one of you. We appreciate every download. We appreciate you talking to your friends and family. We appreciate you spreading the word. We appreciate you sharing things online and on social media. These things might be small to you, but they mean the world to us. Some of these things we see, some of these things we don't see, but it doesn't matter. We just appreciate you for wherever you are, anywhere in the world, listening to our podcast. And I'm very grateful and I'm very thankful to be able to listen to the mic. I mean, turn on the mic and do this with Rod. It is really a honor and a privilege to do this.
All right, y'all, and have a happy new year. We'll talk to
Happy
you.
New Year.
We'll see you next year, as they say. And yeah, we look forward to hopefully being able to spend another year with y'all doing this and talking about this thing we call life. And if you're listening to this, congratulations, you made it. You made it through the year. If you're listening after midnight and or wherever your time zone is, thank you for supporting us and thank you for riding this thing out for another year. All right, y'all, that's it. Until next time, I love you.
I love you too.
Mwah.
Mwah.
Bye, everybody.
Happy New Year, y'all.
New Year,
Bye.
baby. Talk to you in a little bit.
Okay.
Tonight.